What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Man, I am ready for this watch along. We are going to do WWE Backlash 2003. Big poll put up on YouTube just a few days ago. Over 1,500 votes on this thing. 72% went to Backlash 2003. Had some good competition. Couple of WCW shows, Spring Stampede 94, Uncensored 96, and ECW Barely Legal 97. Backlash 2003 destroyed all of them. However, next week, I would really like to do a WCW show. So we might do one of those shows that lost the poll. Whatever I do, I think I'm going to let the members choose this one. I'm going to narrow it down to a few WCW shows for next Sunday, put a members-only poll up, and let you guys decide this next one. But happy that everybody turned out hard for this poll, and Backlash 2003 it is. I have not seen this show since it aired. It's 20 years old this month, back in 2003. Rock and Goldberg, this was right after WrestleMania 19, when The Rock was leaving. Right after retiring Steve Austin, Goldberg came in the night after WrestleMania, and they set this match up for Backlash, which would be basically The Rock's match until he would come back for that quickie at WrestleMania 20 in the Rock and Sock Connection match, and this would be it for him until we saw him again in 2012 against Cena. So this was kind of a big night in the company, and it's the only time I think Rock and Goldberg have ever faced. They were buddies going into this match, from what I remember. They had met a couple of times, and Rock agreed to put him over. So this began Goldberg's really terrible one-year run in the WWE, filled with a lot of frustration, animosity, and mistakes on both ends, and happy that Goldberg was at least able to come back many years later and kind of right some of those wrongs, even though he did overstay his welcome a bit. But this one should be fun. Hopefully you guys are having a great Sunday. I'll go over here to the chat and say hello to everybody in 1 second. In the meantime, you guys know the drill. Go over to Peacock, find your Backlash tab. You're going to want to go to Season 5, Episode 1. 2 hours, 43 minutes, and 22 seconds is the runtime on this. I'm going to get mine all the way back to all the zeros there so I can be queued up and ready when it is time. This Peacock is so difficult and annoying to manage. There we go. Now I got all my zeros there. So that's what you should be doing while I am saying hello to everybody. Good to see Vash, Starwind, Tatanani. We got Fox Star Killer in the house. 4-month shoot brother now. Thank you, man. Finally, I can participate in a watch along again and not have to get up early the next day. I am off from work tomorrow. That's awesome. Mondays off are great. Glad this one won too. Rock versus Goldberg, baby. Yeah, this should be interesting. I love the thumbnail of The Rock just slapping the yellow right off of Goldberg's teeth. That is pretty cool. Really enjoyed making the thumbnail for this one. But in terms of the show itself, I remember very little about it. But when I was putting the poll up, trying to decide which 4 shows to let you guys pick, I did look at the cards for all of these shows, and I really liked them all. So I know John Cena and Brock Lesnar is on the show as well, and a couple of other pretty interesting matches for the time. I think there's even a 6-man in here somewhere with like Jericho and Nash and Triple H and Shawn and all those guys. So this one looks good. Can't wait to see it. Thanks for all those emojis, Zach, and I'm glad you are here for the scroll. We've got We Are Pro Wrestling is in the house as well. What's good with you? Glad you're here in case I have any questions. Rodrigo, did I get you? William Cullen, Andy Linnell, Jet the Hawk, David Brown, Michael Cuomo. Zach, I got you. Ben Espinoza, the Juliet is here as well. So is Smitty, WWE fan forever. And George Morris with his token $5. Thanks, dude. You got a cute looking cat there in your avatar. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? How is Tito? Backlash 2003, 0 out of 10. Dark Side of the Ring, Season 4, covering Marty, Sonny, and Skip. Will you watch? Yeah, I will definitely watch. I'm really surprised Dark Side of the Ring is doing an episode on Marty Jannetty because I hate to sound grim, but his story ain't over yet. I don't even think his story has reached its darkest moment, and they're going to do one on him. So That's going to be interesting. Sonny and Skip will be interesting as well. And I did see the lineup. I kind of forget now who's going to be featured, but I was pretty satisfied with some of the topics they're going to discuss in season 4, and it looks interesting. Sorry you didn't like Backlash 2003. I haven't seen the show in 20 years, so I will reserve judgment for later. And Tito, I don't know where Tito is. He's in this room, but he's not in his normal spot. He's probably underneath the flannel blanket there, sleeping in his fort. But everybody is good here. Andrew Park, good to see you as well. Connor Delaney, K-Dog's Kennel is in the house. So is Victor Colon. The OG JJ Leg is here. We got all our friends. Ryan Adams in the house as well. They were friends, but in the lead up, the rumor is Rock tried to get out of the match, even saying, how about I go to SmackDown and work Rey? I remember none of that. I was pretty in the thick of wrestling news back in 2003. I do not recall that even being a thing. I'm not saying you're wrong. It just seems ridiculous. I can't see The Rock being that way, doing that. He was about to leave, go to Hollywood. You know, Austin's gone. He's leaving. The best thing for both of those guys to do is try to, you know, pass the torch on to somebody else who's going to be here when you're not. And Goldberg of that era was the biggest non-WWE star that existed during the Attitude Era in terms of guys that just got naturally and organically over. So I thought it made a lot of sense for Rock to put over Goldberg since Rock was leaving. So I have never heard any of those rumors about Rock trying to get out of this match. Just reading that one sentence makes me immediately not believe it. But maybe there's more to that I don't know or remember or am unaware of. Who knows? JJ Leg, appreciate the $2 from you. This Cena Lesnar match is in the 2023 showcase mode. I wish I knew what that meant. Something about video games, right? So maybe you can recreate this match, because this would have been when Cena was still Thugonomics Cena. As a matter of fact, he had just started that. I don't even think he worked WrestleMania 19, right? So I remember at the time thinking that this was a match that Cena wasn't ready for. Imagine that. And it would just be, 8 years later, they would work the April pay-per-view again at that Extreme Rules, and Cena would win that one. So crazy how wrestling and the wrestling business can change. Rock is only 30 at this time. That is crazy that The Rock is 15 years younger than I am right now facing Goldberg in this match. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, hopefully in this time of chitter chatter, you guys have gone over to Peacock, pulled up Season 5, Episode 1 of Backlash. Like I said, 2 hours, 43 minutes, 22 seconds. We will hit play together in just a second. And once I do, the timer above my head will begin to run. You guys know the drill. Just follow along with the timer. If you have an interruption or pause or have any sort of delays or problems at all, and same with me, all we got to do is just sync up with the timer and all will work just fine. So I think it's about that time. Let me cue up my mouses and get my fingers on the play buttons here. One on the timer, one on the play button. And we'll be mashing, as they say in the Southeast. When I used to take like keyboarding or typing classes, you didn't press the key, you mashed the key. You mash it. You got to mash that play button. That's what we got to do here. All right, I am ready to rock on my end. If you guys are on yours, we will do a countdown from 3 and hit play all at the same time in unison. Y'all ready to rock? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, we good on my end. No intro skipping, none of that. Just watch it right from the beginning. Oh, it's got, what did the rating up there say? Sexual situations? Something like that. I didn't catch those. All right. Goldberg has not had a match yet in WWE. He has only appeared on Raw a couple of times in the build of this with The Rock, and this will be his first time actually in the ring. It's a shame he couldn't come in during the invasion. He's a leading man in Hollywood, y'all. Sorry, just taking a chunk out of this gummy. It's a big boy gummy. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Jay-Z thing at WrestleMania 19. That would have been fun. $173-0. All right. All right, here we go. Where are they at? I don't even know the city they're in. It's a pretty cool set. They still got the hooks. They're a little bit more refined than they were the previous year or two. Sounds like one of these typical hard metal songs the WWE used for every single pay-per-view back then. Worcester. Oh, man. Worcester, Mass. Isn't that where did Goldberg, We Are Pro Wrestling, you'll know this, where did Goldberg slice his hand to shit? Why do I think that's Massachusetts or Worcester or some WWE town when he did that? I could be way wrong. Waller, I hate your hair. Oh, I've mentioned this song before. I know this song. They used this for like that U.S. title tournament, which was probably happening right around this time. I went to a SmackDown really close to this show because there was like a Piper's Pit with Snookit involved. I was there at that one. Oh no, Michael, I won't put Riddle and RVD up if I'm taking a bite out of one of these things. That's only for when there tends to be a cloud of white stuff around here. I don't want any of that shit on YouTube. Kids might be watching, you know? Just trying to be responsible. I love this. Now, these guys are on one of the box art posters for this show. It's like Angle and Team Angle. What is Angle even doing? Is he like hurt? Why do they have... Oh, he is, because he just had the neck thing, right? So he's not on this show. That must be why Team Angle is on one of the original DVD covers, because maybe at the time, a couple of months prior, before they knew Angle was going to be hurt, they probably would have been a focal point of this. Oh, good. It's the Guerreros. Eddie. 1 year from now, he'd be WWE champion. God, look at the shape he's in. Oh, somewhere in Maryland. Okay, I don't know why I thought that was Massachusetts. Chavito Heat. Yeah, Angle didn't get back until July. That might have been one of the... Shit, where was I? I wish I could remember whatever SmackDown this was, but it was sometime during the U.S. title tournament or whatever they were doing there. And I remember Brock had a promo that night. There was a babyface promo complimenting Kurt Angle. I don't think Angle was there. So it was probably just like 2 weeks after Mania, something like that. There's Jimmy Corderas. All right, cool. This is a championship match to which I do not know the outcome, so I have no idea who's going to win this. I was at the pay-per-view the following month, Judgment Day, and I'm pretty sure these two teams wrestled. Or maybe it was a three-way or something like that. But they were involved. Your mom was born in Worcester. That's awesome, Andy. I have never been to Worcester. I've flown into Boston a couple times, and I've been to Cape Cod, but I have never been into Worcester or Lowell or any of them other dirty towns. And that's okay. I was born in Pontiac, so I know dirty towns. I ain't shitting on Worcester. Worcester's probably a lot nicer than Pontiac. Oh, thanks, Foxstar Killer. I didn't even know that. Smitty had asked if this was why, if JR isn't here because he was set on fire around this time, but that wouldn't happen for a couple of more months. JR kayfabe quit the company in protest of Bischoff firing Austin the night after Mania. Now we know Austin would be brought back as a co-GM or whatever, which I never liked. Charlie, would you get your eyebrows done, bro? Then he's got like Vince McMahon mustaches over his eyes. Oh, okay. The following month was Team Angle versus Eddie and Tajiri in a ladder match. I don't know why I thought it was Guerrero. Yeah, I guess it was supposed to be Guerrero's and Tajiri replaced Chavo. Wow. I remember my seats for that. I was like, I had 50-yard line seats. I was really, we were up a little further, but I was pretty much in the center of the building, and the set was off to my left. The big scaffolding deal they did. I also remember the bikini contest from that night. I think there was like a Sable and Tori bikini contest. I remember that because the fans went ape shit. I always liked that Charlie kept the Russ wristband on, even here. I remember when Russ Haas died. That was really sad. Worcester, Mass sure does seem like a white town, doesn't it? Look at that crowd. Fucking crackers as far as the eye can see, man. That's us. Yeah, Mick won the title in Worcester. I don't know why. I'm associating some other Thunder that was in Worcester. Something happened at a Thunder Worcester. I don't remember what. And maybe that's what I'm conflating it with. I think it had something to do with, Worcester's a WWE town. It might have been one of those NWO surveys or something where you guys come to see WCW and the crowd like shit on them because it's not a WCW town. Something like that. I forgot the Worcester Thunder story, but something exists. Ooh, God. Fucking uppercut to Shelton? Just give me these two guys. Think about how good Chavo and Charlie Haas are, and then think about that Eddie and Shelton are 10 times better than that. So there is some talent in this ring. Except for that third level there, this Worcester arena does resemble the sports arena here in San Diego just a bit. Got the same similar vibe and numbers on the walls and shit. Yeah, Angle was out around this time, Tatanani, because he was injured going into WrestleMania, had those neck problems, and then right after the match, I think we all thought he was going to get surgery and be out a year, but he would come back after just a few months, which was crazy. Huh. I like the tag team wrestling manipulations of the referees that you can do, but I really hate that you can do a blind tag sometime and they just make the tag noise and they're like, oh, it's okay. Where any other time, if the referee doesn't see the tag, he gets all uppity and he makes the other guy leave. How many times have we seen that? Referee doesn't see the tag, he makes somebody get out of the ring and they protest and it's a big deal. And here the Guerreros are just slapping their hands and Corderos is okay with not seeing it now. Oh, that's okay. I didn't see it. I heard it. You must have slapped your hands. Okay, it's all good. I don't remember what Chavo's deal was when the Radicals jumped to WWE. I don't know if he was dealing with the same frustration that those other guys were. I mean, Chavo's awesome and stuff, but I don't think anybody was thinking of him in terms of people in WCW that should be world title contenders. I think it was more Eddie and Benoit. And Chavo might have not had the same issue. So I don't know why he didn't go or what the story was with that, but he'd be over there. He'd be one of the first ones that would come over in the invasion, though. I don't know if Chavo's ever done an interview about that and anybody asked him, but I don't know. I don't think his situation in WCW was the same as the other guys. Oh, yeah, they are. These were good days in the tag team division back in 03. These two teams had so many good matches, and they were such good teams. I mean, what, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, and Eddie would pass away? That's just insane to me. Hmm. This move was always fun. Classic team angle. World's greatest tag team. How long was their run really for? I mean, this is one of the better tag teams of the modern era in WWE. And I mean, shit, they were only together a couple years, right? Maybe even if that. Remember, guys, intensity is one of the three I's. There's two other ones after intensity that make the full three. There will be a quiz later. Come on, Eddie. Nice. Oh, yeah. Nash had just come back as well. Oh, my God. He had done the whole quad tear thing, I think, the year before. He was out, and then he came back around this time to get involved in the Shawn and Triple H stuff that I think was starting to bubble. And then I think he would try to get into, or wait, no, maybe this is this Nash and Triple H in this show? Or is this the 6-man thing? I forgot. I think it's the 6-man. Nash and Triple H would wrestle at Judgment Day because I was there and I remember Triple H going through a table, and then they must do the Hell in the Cell after that. Is that how it goes? I think Nash maybe at first, storyline wise, tries to be the middleman between Shawn and Triple H, and then that doesn't work, and Triple H ends up turning on Nash. That leads to their feud, I think. Oh, and then I think Nash would be, he'd be in and out pretty quick too, wouldn't he? Because he would do that SummerSlam match with the completely bleached blonde hair. I think he was doing it for the movie, right? Huh. No, I don't. Greg, do you remember Shelton and Haas as the world's greatest tag team when they faced the Hardys in a ladder match at One Night Stand in 2007? I remember none of that. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Crazy. One Night Stand, so that would have been 07, so that would have been around the time of the Benoit murders, and it would have been the ECW WWE version of One Night Stand, and it probably sucked. So yeah, I don't even remember it. I probably watched the pay-per-view, maybe, but no recollection whatsoever. Yeah, that's right. So it was Nash and Judgment Day, and then that ended in whatever, and that would lead to the Hell in the Cell match. So that's right. I think it would have been kind of cool if Kevin Nash won the big gold belt from Triple H. I mean, it might have been better instead of doing like Triple H and Goldberg doing that feud. You should have had Nash beat Triple H for the big gold belt and then have Goldberg beat Nash for it. Payback from 1998 at Starrcade. Oh, wow. Tag to Chavo. Taking out Shelton. Smart. God, his drop kicks. My God. It's crazy to watch a match where like Chavo would be the fourth best wrestler in it. Like he might be third. Oh man, world's greatest tag team is just all over the place. Did World's Greatest Tag Team have their own music, or were they using Angle's music? I think they had their own theme, right? Oh, what a power bomb! Missile drop kick. I don't know who's legal. I think the referee and the dude in the front row is legal. Oh wow, look at those. Crowd's not even popping for these. Look at that. Spinning them hips. Oh, what a thing of beauty. Drink it in, man. 3, the trifecta Eddie suplexes. Yo, thanks for that. $5, Chris Ludek. That pay-per-view in 07 sucked besides the Hardys versus WGT, which was excellent. And I think Nash had his hair dyed for Punisher. Yeah. I remember when he showed up with that shit, I was like, that's got to be the movie. I never saw Punisher, but I remember reading about Nash getting the part, and I'm like, well, that's got to be why he's doing that. He looks ridiculous with that hair. Eddie nails the Frogger. He's not legal, though. He's bloody, but not legal. Come on, Chavo. Kick out. Nope. Oh. That was close. Shelton about missed his cue. Yeah, I know if you guys might have eyes on Rebellion. So if anything interesting happens there, you can let us know. Oh, come on. They really went with the Rick Rude Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania 5 finish for that. Team Angle. My favorite, Zach, my favorite live event moment, like one that I attended, or like house show moment. I don't think I can narrow it down to one. I don't even know. Favorite live event moment. I mean, I've seen Austin win the title twice. I've seen some crazy matches, some historic matches. Whoa. Some historic segments. I don't know if I can narrow it down to one. I'd have to think about it. Was in the front. I was in the audience for This Is Your Life. I was there for the big Angle Benoit Cage match. I was in the audience for the Terry Funk and Mick Foley Falls Count Anywhere match. Saw Austin win the title twice. Saw Jericho win a couple of IC titles. Saw China win the IC title. Saw Hogan slam Andre. I guess that would be it, but shit. Yeah, so I guess it was a belly to back, so it wasn't quite the same finish, but very close to what Rude and Warrior did. Oh, and the poor angle photo goes down. Kurt went down face first. Somebody check on Kurt. What's Grandma going to think, Holmes? Good menudo. Gonna have all the mama seats, so they stole the belts? That's how the ride just happens to be there. Look at that pretty low rider. I like how they just stand in the ring and yell instead of, chase after them. So they literally stole the tag team titles. It's people just casually talking like there's no disturbance whatsoever. Oh my God, was the horn like cucaracha? Oh, Jesus. That's the best. I don't understand the point of doing that to your car, but I still think it's awesome looking. Do they have a flat? Like, I wouldn't want to be driving my car like this. I would be very uncomfortable. Still honking the horn on the way out. But they still have angle. Yeah, test. Baby. Oh, he's supposed to be with Stacy and he's hitting on Tori. Look at Tess. Like, well, what do you expect? Vince McMahon is my boss. Like, I'm just leading by or following his example that he leads for us. You're a tease, Tori. I've seen him a whole bunch of times. Test. If that is your real name. Mm. Yeah, you're. Oh, don't you? So are we going to arrest Test for this or what? Or is he just going to be? This will be allowed. Oh, there's Stacy. I can see. Oh no, that's Sable. So I guess this is when Jesus. I guess this is when Sable and Brock Lesnar met each other, and yeah, I guess I can see why Brock was like, "I'd like to take you to the movies and have some chicken, maybe some sex, see where it takes us." All right, we got Piper, who made his return at WrestleMania, right? He's got that gut. That was one of my favorite WrestleMania surprises and things that I wish they would do more of. Like in that Hogan and Vince match, I never expected to see. Oh, he's got coconuts again. I never expected to see Piper and him just showing up as a surprise. Like, holy shit, all the history with him and Hogan and WrestleMania 1 and Vince and Piper and all that. Okay, so I was definitely right about the Piper's pick because whatever that SmackDown was, Piper was in the ring and then Snuka came out. And they might have even reenacted the coconut thing there, unless they're going to do it here. I don't remember what this is about. That was one of my earliest memories of being a kid is Piper bashing the coconut over Snooka's head. I was only 8. Number 7. Sean O'Hare. Yeah, I remember when Piper was briefly associated with this guy. To his generic ass music that he's coming out here. Whose theme is this? Isn't this a Divas theme? Isn't this some women's wrestlers theme that they've recycled? I feel like this theme has been used before. And he had a good look too, Sean O'Hare. Some of those vignettes they were doing looked pretty good. And here's Rikishi still at it. Well, we know Rikishi's putting this dude over. Or as Rakishi, as JR would call him. Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Ben. It sounded like a different. Why am I trying to think of? I swear Sean O'Hare's theme was like a WWE shop theme or something like that. I can't pinpoint it. Oh, size of Rikishi, Jesus, he's gotten big. I'm glad I got to see Piper a couple of times live during this time period. I think I saw 2 or 3 shows with him in it in 2003. Oh yeah, I forgot O'Hare did a little martial arts too. Oh, sorry for that, Victor. Oh, yeah, saw that one up here. Thank you for that comment. What do you think for a members only watch along for June? We do ECW One Night Stand 2005. That was a great ECW reunion show, and I'll watch Rebellion at a later time. These watch alongs are so much better. I'm glad I'm more entertaining than Rebellion. I really don't watch much Impact at all. The only thing I know about them lately is that Mickie James had to forfeit the title, which is sad, and they're crowning a new champion tonight. But that's all I was aware of. So thanks for keeping an eye on that. Let us know what happens there. ECW One Night Stand. I think I'd like to watch One Night Stand for everybody. And another problem with the members only watch alongs, if we do them on Sundays before a normal watch along, we should probably keep members onlys limited to either a 2-hour pay-per-view or like a Monday Night Raw or Nitro, to where we can do that and then still have plenty of time to come up and do a regular one. But I would like to do One Night Stand. I think we already did it, which we've done one of them. But I'm down for that for this June. We might have watched the one with Edge and John Cena. I don't remember which one we watched a couple years ago. I got to look that up. But if there's one of the one night stands we have not done, 05 or 06, we should do them. Piper's antics. Piper, full circle, man. He came into WWE as an outside guy, again, kind of as a manager. He was nursing that eardrum issue from the Valentine match. He couldn't wrestle right away. Crowd's reacting to something. I don't know if there's a fight in the crowd or what. Help me out here with the timeline, guys. How long did this O'Hare shit last? A few months? Because Piper would only be here for a little while, right? Then he would leave and then he would come back in 05 for the Piper's Pit return at WrestleMania with Austin and all of that. And I don't think he was around for any of 2000. Oh, wow. I don't think he was around for any of 2004, which, much like Hogan, Piper would also miss out on WrestleMania 20, which is unbelievable. He's got the coconut. Oh, double thrust kick to both guys. Piper's in the ring with a coconut. Oh, yeah, he did. He missed it. Oh, no, we did. Oh, coconut on Piper, and he sells it. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, we have done One Night Stand 2005. I see it here. But not 06. And there it is. Finisher to Rikishi. And that's it. Yeah, so it looks like we still have to do the ECW show with John Cena and Edge, right? That would have been 06. Yeah, I'm looking through all the watch-alongs. Yeah, we did 05, but not 06 for ECW. Look at Piper. Oh, yeah, he's busted open, too. You all right, Pipe? Finally, all this payback. Rikishi gets it. Oh, he hit him on the shoulder with it. I don't even know how Piper got busted open on his head. Did he bleed? He might be bleeding right there. Oh, what did I say? Cena and Edge? Yeah, Cena RVD. You know what I mean. That one. I know we've never met. Hi. Stacy's going to rat out. Can we come over here while the camera follows us? Oh, my God. Sable, shut up. What did you see? What did you see, Sable? Oh, for crying out loud. I'm sorry to have to tell you, just finish your strawberries and your tomatoes and whatever the fuck else you got there. Poor Stacy. You need somebody better than Test. He's the worst. He's the worst. Oh, stupid strawberries, stupid tomatoes. Oh, RVD and Khan. So we're getting close to Kane unmasking here, right? A couple months away from that. Kane. You can usually count on me. Look at that spray fire foam on those beams. Ugh. I like wearing the title. Chief Morley. I forgot about Chief Morley. Chief Venus. Come on. Yeah, about 2 more months, and we would get an unmasking of Kane. And Chief Morley's going to be the referee for this. Is that right? Oh, look at him. I saw him at WrestleCon too. He was there. It could. This could be a train wreck. So Chief Morley, I think, was put into power by the Eric Bischoff administration, right? Is that how that all happened? You know, Val Venus was a memorable gimmick, but it probably didn't do Morley any favors because it was really hard for him to find any success at all outside of that gimmick. Never found anything that stuck. This shit didn't stick. When he was in the right to censor, that was garbage. Are Dudley's baby faces? So they're teasing Dudley dissension there. They just got back together, didn't they, after they split them up in the draft? Comes RVD. Still that old RVD music. I've just never thought the company has ever needed 2 sets of tag team titles ever, even when their roster was the deepest. Just don't need it. You don't need 2 tag team champions. You can barely keep one division together, much less 2. Oh, so they edited both of these? So RVD was coming out to one of a kind, and Kane was coming out to his I fingered you at 7-Eleven. What is the thing? What is the song called? It's pretty good job of the dubbing. It doesn't really sound like it is, but I feel like at this time they definitely had those other themes by now. Interesting. The music dubbing is a DVD dub, not a network dub. Gotcha. It's all a dub. An EC dub. Second tag team title match of the night. We've had 3 matches. 2 of them have been tag title matches. That's interesting. I was right. I was close. Fuck, Star Killer. Because the last thing you want in a 7-Eleven is to get fingered. Just take my word for it on that one. Oof. I do like that. Marty Jannetty could do that pretty good too. Counter out of a hip toss. Yeah. I want to say RVD. I want to say RVD and Bubba had like a singles match on an ECW pay-per-view way back in the day. I think. My memory with that shit is really starting to fade. Booker T's music might be edited too. Booker T, has he used more than one theme? How are you going to edit the only theme he's ever had? Well, he probably had some other stupid shit too around this time, I guess. I'm trying to think who else. So I know like RVD, Dudley Boys, and Batista is another guy that comes to mind that had themes that got turned into metal themes. Remember? Like Batista had that first version until it went hard. And there's probably even a few more examples like that. But Dudley's, RVD, and Batista are the three that come to mind that had kind of generic sounding themes at first, but they kept the melody and just made a hard rock version of it, covered by some heavy metal band that I had never heard of. Oh, man, Devon, you need to get in position here. There we go. Oh, the King Booker theme. I forgot. I forgot he'd have that a few years later, right? Hmm. Kane, I love watching Kane wrestle. Just fucking arm ringers, takedowns, leg drops. Kane's in here wrestling like Brett. Christian had so many themes, though. Like when he first turned heel, that theme that he used got changed up like 2 or 3 times within the first like 6 months. So I don't even know what the original version of Christian's heel theme would be starting in like 2001 or whenever that was. Hmm. Doug on Funny Saliva, Motorhead, Finger 11, Our Lady, Grace, Kid Rock, Disturb. Yeah, all those type of bands. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. I guess the Dudleys, they would hang around for about 2 more years, right? I know one of their last nights was like that one night stand. I think they were out of there after that, from what I remember. 8:05 already. I'm going to grab a new one. Be right back. The big red machine. I don't know why Bischoff wants to get the titles off of RVD and Kane. I don't know what the issue is. I have never heard about Lillian singing Christian's theme. Maybe she did. I don't know. Christian had so many of them, man. God, especially at first. Go find that very first original heel theme that he had. It was very different than what it would evolve into. Oh, I thought that was 3. by Bubba Ray. Still doing the what's up thing after all these years. They want tables. I was like, they're always chanting something. It's easy to figure out when the Dudleys are in the ring. We want tables. I cannot believe the show was 20 years ago. Man, that's crazy. Nice chin lock on RVD. I always liked how Devon, he would always have his knuckles taped on his fingers. Like 2 pieces of tape on each finger, I think. Oh, here comes Bubba. Oh, wow. Drop kick to the face of RVD. Is that what they were doing here? Bubba was heel and Devon was face? I'm surprised. I mean, aside from teams that have been just thrown together, like when they do title feuds or something and they put the opponents together or whatever, or reluctant tag team partners or anything like that, you've never seen an actual team go one heel and one babyface and then try to still coexist as a team. That is, I guess, kind of unique, but I don't remember the circumstances around why the Dudleys were doing this, but might be a kind of an interesting concept. Can imagine like Davey and Dynamite being that way or something back in the day. You're on our side. He's going to do that. Yep, he's going to do that counter that he always does. I don't know why any opponent, much less an ECW veteran who knows RVD very well, would ever grab a hold of one of RVD's legs, knowing that he's got an easy way out of that. Oh, yeah, he did tag him right in the... Oh, my God, Bubba ate it. RVD did have a rep. I remember fans complaining online before Twitter and all that stuff. Wow. About RVD being unsafe. Same type of people who call for the demotion of any wrestler who has one botch. Got to send him down to NXT. Tony Khan needs developmental system before somebody gets hurt. Like, botches have never not existed in wrestling. They've always been here. You always risk your life. There's always sketchy shit happening on every night, on every show, and every promotion. And it's not exclusive to one. And it's not exclusive to any wrestlers. Even the most trained and skilled and well-experienced guys can make mistakes. Wow. God, RVD was so agile back then. My God. Nice. Enziguri duck, but plan B got him. Rolling Thunder. Nope, RVD going for that monkey flip. Neck breaker. Wow. I mean, the way he pulled him off and RVD was very controlled. You have to be in complete cooperation to do that. Otherwise, you'll land on your head like RVD. That was really well done. Who did? Oh, Val Venus. He's going to beat him with a clothesline from hell? What? Good. Kane kicks out. Morley gave it his best shot. You dumbass, Sean Morley. Just beat up the referee. Why not? Oh, here we go. Referee and Devon fight. Well, this feels like the match is going to be over now. Devon going to teeing off on the head of Venus. Now, look, what, Bubba's going to be mad? Who's that? Lance Storm. Shout out to Lance. Your pants are coming unbuttoned. Bubba bomb and a wardrobe malfunction. Thanks for coming, Lance. Now Morley's going to be okay with this. No bell. I guess he doesn't want to ring the bell because technically he's on the side of the Dudleys. Oh, now he's going to fight Bubba too. What is he doing? 3D. 3D to the referee. Now how do you win? Who wins now? Kane's got Bubba. Takes out Devon. Choke slam to Bubba. And now RVD's got to jump. You got to go, Froggy. Come on, buddy. Go. Who's going to count the damn 3 count? This match already over. Look how far he is. Wow. He doesn't quite get the height as a Montez Ford, but... Oh, and there's a ref. But it's still an equally as impressive frog splash. Some say RVD's frog splash is better than Eddie's. I would not disagree. Kind of hard to disagree with it. Dun, 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 dun. Lance is doing pretty well. Lance is a frequent tweeter. One of the most down-to-earth and more normal former wrestlers you see on Twitter. Not making a ton of noise, not having a bunch of shitty opinions, never shutting the fuck up about every little thing that annoys him. Just being a regular dude who lives and let live. Be like Lance Storm. Lance Storm is never going to go on a 2-week public meltdown over an aluminum fucking can. Lance Storm's good people. Apparently, I'm from Michigan too. Apparently, I think I've driven through Battle Creek, but I think Battle Creek is kind of gross. Stacy, Jesus. Speaking of something that's not gross, here comes Stacy. As Sable tries to stir up shit here. Look at Stacy. Look at Jacqueline. I'm going to get out of here. You know? Look at Molly. No, don't fight, you two. Oh, who's in the towel? Ivory? Okay. Oh, no. A beautiful friendship. Did I just see a cat run through there? A furry critter just ran by. I didn't imagine that, right? Maybe I did imagine the furry critter. I saw a furry critter. I don't know if I was the only one that saw that. Dawn Marie's laughing. Is this after the Al Wilson shit? Or has it not happened yet? You kissed my boyfriend. I thought I saw a furry critter. A furry critter. Oh, Jazz. Maybe it was one of their, or maybe it was the dog, or maybe it was one of their hair. One of the women's hair. It could have been that. But I swear I saw like a furry little critter just run right by. There was a cat. See, Smitty. I'm not crazy. Might have been Tito. Wouldn't put it past him. Who's Jazz even facing? She's got Teddy Long with her. Are Jazz and Rodney Mack still together? I think they are, right? What you got to say, Teddy? Holler at me. Vindication. I don't know how Jazz didn't win the title and never get beat for it. Oh, it is Trish. I have seen a Trish Stratus and Jazz match in person before. I was at Survivor Series in 01 when they wrestled. The bitch is back and the bitch is black. Believe that. I do believe it, Jazz. I would never doubt Jazz ever. I wouldn't cross her. I'd be nothing but polite to her. Because I think in a shoot, she could easily whoop me. So Trish is hurt. She's selling some stuff. She's got very oily boobies, which is extremely important in a match like this. I have no idea who wins this. Something tells me Jazz might actually pick up the belt here, the way Trish is selling apparently an injury that happened right there with Bubba. A bitch plant. Is that what it's called? I like that name. Okay, so they're already planting the seeds that Trish is at a disadvantage due to injury, which I think Jazz could be the one with an injury and still win this. And I do like Trish. Like, this is around the time where I'm like, man, I'm so proud of that Trish. She had a great 02, great matches all year. I was definitely a Trish believer by this point. As Little Nate tries to pull them apart. Yo, Zach, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for chiming in with the fiver. Greg, this is a fun pick for the watch along. In my opinion, what is the randomest pair of tag team champions you've ever seen? Well, shit. Well, the most random pair that I've seen is probably going to be the same random pair you've seen. So I've just got to think about who the most random pair of tag team champions is. And we've had some extremely unconventional tag team champions before. I would probably say Braun Strowman and Nicholas. Find me a more random pair than Braun Strowman and Nicholas. I think to this day, that one still remains as the craziest set of tag team champions ever. And we've had some pretty crazy sets before. I don't know. Fucking Linda McMahon might even be half a tag team champion for all we know. We've had some crazy ones, but bringing a little shithead from the crowd in and winning a title, that's got to take the cake, even though I think he was a referee's son. Got to go with them, unless you guys have a better suggestion. Trish with a takedown on Jazz. This is year and a half after their first battle, so this should be much better. Hulk Hogan and Edge, that was pretty good. I'm not sure how random it was, though, because they were both on SmackDown and they were both on the same roster. But that was random. I always was a bit jealous of Edge. If I can program my next life, I'll become a professional wrestler. Bret Hart will never have, won't retire early, and he'll never have the stroke. And he and I will become tag team champions in 2004. That would make me 27 years old. Me and Bret, tag team champions. Good Heart Work Foundation. I don't know, something like that. Something cool. We'll go undefeated for 6.5 years, smashing everybody that gets in our path. And then after the 6.5 year mark, when Bret is pushing 50 years old, he will say, there's really nobody else for us to destroy. So let's just forfeit the titles and ride off into the sunset together. You can come live at my property with my family. We'll have your own little guest house there. Bring your girlfriend, bring your wives, bring your friends, your wives, bring your girlfriend, bring your friends, and we'll all live there together. And then when I do WrestleCon conventions, me and Bret will compete to see who has the longest line to meet us. So yeah, that's. I like to think when you die, you can program your next life and you can write it all down, and whatever you write down will happen. So that's what I'm going to write down. Either that or whatever the depiction of heaven in This Is the End, the 2013 movie, that would also be okay. Because I would definitely get NSYNC to come and do a concert for me personally. Be like the first thing I do, probably. Trish got good at this move up. Jazz caught her. Oh, wow. I was like, are you really going to half crab off the second rope? She is. It's amazing to me that Trish is probably going to have a match with Becky here in a couple months. This is 20 years ago. Oh, that's true, Victor. WCW had Judy Bagwell and Rick Steiner as tag team champions. So that poses the question, who would win in a match between Rick Steiner and Judy Bagwell against Braun Strowman and Nicholas? Who would win in a match between Judy Bagwell and Nicholas? Probably Judy. Probably whooped the little shithead's ass. One out of 10. How was this match? I'm not giving it any less than a 4 at this point. It's not horrible. Trish doing a good job of selling her injured areas. Jazz is so short. Trish is short. They're both short. Chick kick for the win? No. Nope. Was it the chick kick yet? Were they calling it the chick kick? They might not be. Trish, it's so funny. Every time I look at young Trish, not so much now, but Trish 20 years ago facially is a dead ringer for a coworker that I've had for the last 12 years. They look so much alike. She's a brunette though, but every time I see Trish like grimace or make a face, I just think of one of my friends. It's mind-blowing. Dead fucking ringer. It's kind of like me and Brad Pitt, same thing. A lot of people can't tell the two of us apart. It's just the hair, luckily, that they know is me. But sometimes when Brad Pitt shaves his head, then it's like, oh shit, how do you even know the difference between these guys? It's really hard to tell. Oh. Was it Teddy's shoe? Oh no, come on. Was it Teddy took his own shoe off? She went for Stratisfaction and countered it into a sunset. She's going to use ropes for leverage. And she won the title. Jazz's music sounds like the beginning of some 1980s WWE pay-per-view. Vince loved the saxophone and that shit back then. Trish. And Jazz is the champ. Yeah, all these teams are random, but they're not the most random. You can't beat my pick. There's no more random than Strowman and Nicholas. And maybe what Victor said with Judy and Steiner. Otherwise, no. Cody and Drew, none of those. Rico and Rikishi, no. Sorry. Random, but not the most random. And that was Zach's question. The randomist. They are not the randomist. They're random, but not the randomist. Why'd you have to kick me out of NWO like that, man, last year? That fucking hurt. You hit me so hard with a super kick. You see that on Raw? My jaw still hurts, Sean. Give me this shoot fight. Booker T and Sean. Think about 4.5 seconds for Sean to be hospitalized. Okay, so this must have been after Triple H turned on him or hit him with the nut shot or whatever. I thought it was cool at this time, though, as a fan, a WWE fan, and somebody that was in the thick of the Monday Night Wars, just to see Shawn and Nash in the ring together again as a team. That's not something I ever thought we would see It was pretty surreal, to be honest. Because even when Nash and Hall came back with the NWO, Shawn was still retired. So it just never seemed like we were ever going to get that again. We're never going to see a couple of dudes with attitudes again. And that was sad. Oh, look at that 619. Ah. Oh, no. Is this when Big Show does the stretcher thing with Rey? Oh, God. I hope this isn't it. I don't know when that happens with the stretcher, but it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. No, maybe it's Brock that does. I forgot who swings Rey. It's got to be Big Show, though. Oh, so is this a match? Rey and Big Show? Oh, yikes. Yes, I have listened to a little bit of the Kevin Nash podcast. I like Kevin Nash a lot. I wasn't even sure of Trisha's actual age, but 50 does sound about right. I mean, this was 20 years ago. That would put her at 30 there, which is nuts. Wait. Is this the match where it happens? This might actually be the match. If Rey comes out in blue, I know Rey is wearing blue when he hits the ring steps or the ring post in that stretcher. Oh, I didn't know it was on pay-per-view. I thought it was on SmackDown that happened. Oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing. So this is where it happens? Oh man, I didn't know that. I had no idea. But I do know the footage when I see the clip. I know Rey is wearing blue, and there is his Carolina blue on him right now. Oh no. It's still hard to look at 20 years after the fact. I mean, shit, how old is Rey Mysterio, man? Fuck, he's got to be the same age as Trish. I don't know if I'm excited that this is the match that happens or not excited because it's not a bump that I enjoy looking at. And I remember at the time thinking that it was an unnecessary, dangerous, potentially career shortening bump. Luckily, that would not be the case because Rey Mysterio just this year was in one of the most high profile matches of all of WrestleMania weekend. Big Show, I mean, we all know you're not. Oh, you're a few McNuggets short of a Happy Meal, but the last thing you need to be doing is like chasing Ray around. Wow, that might be one of the earliest references I've ever heard to that idiotic fucking saying that everybody uses. Or is living rent free of your head. And this might have been one of the first times I've ever heard that reference before. Taz talking about Ray renting space in Show's head. That's pretty funny. It's like whenever something is coined or whenever there's a new phrase, you can always expect unimaginative chodes repeating it incessantly until they kill it. Oh, God, he palmed his head. Oh. Ray, all you had to do was not get caught. You could just stick and move, bounce around the ring, hit him with some drop kicks. Eventually he'll go down. Oh yeah, I forgot. Matt Hardy beat him too at WrestleMania. That's right. Yes, Rodrigo. I do remember the Brock and Big Show main event of Judgment Day. That was, I think, that was a stretcher match. I remember all that. We'll watch that next month. Oh, Trish is only 47. Okay, so she's only a couple of years older than me. Ray just flies all the way out. Yeah, go into the ring, Ray. Oh, there you go. I was about to say, is Ray going to be able to use this chair? He is if Big Show's going to shove the referee down. Forget who that referee is. Is that Mike Sparks? What an upset. Well, WCW did the same thing. They had a couple of Nash and Mysterio matches, right? Mysterio beat him once. There you go. 619, the kneecaps. That's what you do. Yeah, that's what you do, Ray. Ah. That's it. And this might not be it either. Well, we got a few 619s. This might have been around the time too. I remember I wasn't living here in California yet, but my parents, their phone number here, their area code was 619. And I remember a couple years after Ray debuted, they did a rerouting of the area codes here in San Diego, and they no longer were nine. There weren't 619 anymore. They changed to 858. And I remember being mad. I'm like, why isn't your phone number 619 anymore? That's bullshit. So I was very mad at San Diego for that. Until I moved here and got a 619 phone number, but still. No, this is going to be bad. And you knew something was up here. Like they're gonna put him on a stretcher after a choke slam. That's all. Just to tie him. This is so stupid. He's getting himself all set. Like this is so obvious looking back. Like, and they have all three of his limbs tied up. I would be so claustrophobic in that, like not being able to like break my fall if these morons drop me. Oh. He's coming back. After they strap him down. Oh my God. I can't even watch this. Oh my God. He picks it up like a baseball. Look at this shit. That is so gnarly. Damn. That's still to this day one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Like the way, like just imagine Ray laying on that board just being completely helpless, like, well, my life's over. It's like we get that dramatic pause in the music. You're probably wondering how I ended up like this. Oh my God. I like how it's like a car seatbelt, like our normal car seatbelt. That's what they're using. Any EMTs in the chat? Do they really use car seatbelt looking things to strap you down to those? Those look like jerry rigged seatbelts just wrapped around the. There's no way they use those. Oh my God. It didn't look at like. That's still, it just makes me mad to even see that bump. Like, what were they thinking? Poor Rey. Yeah, shit is right, man. Look at these two guys being friends again after everything they went through the previous year. He's going to be gunning for you. King of the world. But he's the king of kings and he's the king of the world. Sounds like Chris Jericho is the bigger king because he's the king of the world. Yeah, Ray's got to have a lot of a massive amount of trust in Big Show, but he also has to know that it doesn't matter how careful Big Show is, it's going to suck really bad. So his only hope is that it just sucks as little as possible. Like it's gonna suck, and it's gonna suck hard. But I would just be praying that I can actually go to my hotel and sleep instead of being at a medical facility. Kind of crazy seeing Hunter Hearst Helmsley be a favorite over Big Daddy Cool Diesel, but he would be. Nobody ever thought, I didn't anyway, at Judgment Day or at Bad Blood, that Nash would win the title. Oh, now they're going to slap. Psh, psh. Why don't you just explain it to each other? Why do you have to cat fight? Oh, I don't know if that was on purpose or what. Oh, here's Steiner. He's here to help out. Stacy, you okay? Luckily for you, this box was only 33 and a thirds full. Had it been 66 thirds full, then we would have had 162 thirds full box on your head. And that means you wouldn't win the title later. Also, I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal. What are you doing with my girl? I think Stacy is better than both of y'all. Test, why are you so big and you're wearing jeans that are so baggy? That's what I want to know. Michael Cole, I'm really happy that you don't have the frosted tips, but what is this? Did your graphics designer put one of those on you too? Happened to me too. See, look under this video. I got one. Oh, Cena. I forgot he thought it was a good idea to wear that hat. I remember at this time watching this pay-per-view with my girlfriend at the time and her roommate, who I was pretty good friends with. Her roommate was a crazy little like bisexual hippie, really fun, really smart. She had 3 degrees from like University of North Carolina, smart as hell, but you know, kind of into like she managed an adult video store, so she was kind of into that type of stuff. And I remember she would laugh so hard at John Cena. She said, she goes, "What's funny about Cena," she goes, "is that chain and that lock that he wears. Apparently, that's what some men will use to signify that they're with somebody, like they're locked, like they're with them, they belong to somebody, type of thing. something like that. And she just thought that it was dripping in irony because every single Cena insult in his raps is always alluding to his opponent being gay or something immature like that. So she was quick to point out the inconsistency in John Cena's insults because apparently that signifies something, and I was completely unaware of that, and I got educated. So it's good to have smart friends that know stuff. She was also the one that showed up at my house one day. She goes, Greg, I have something for you. And she gave me, because they ordered a few for her store, she gave me the One Night in China DVD. She just brought it to me and gave it to me. And it sat on my shelf for a couple of years, and I just felt weird about having it. So I sold it on eBay for like $60. That's one story I did not share with X-Pac when I saw him at WrestleCon. Yeah, Cena wasn't ready for this, man. Now he's wearing a toboggan too. I've mentioned this before, you guys who know my thoughts on Cena and stuff. I've said this time and time again. Most fans, especially the ones that hated Cena so much, all had the same opinion. He was good during the Thugonomics, but then he got crap. Where I have the reverse opinion. I never really liked him as this Thugonomics. I'm glad he found something that got him over, but the character and the gimmick I didn't like. I didn't like the Marky Mark thing at all. Some of his raps were mildly funny, but no crazier than anything we'd see in the Attitude Era. So Cena, to me, during the Thugonomics time, wasn't anything special. He didn't get special till after, in my mind, when everybody hated him. So I have a completely reversed opinion of Cena than the average fan. It's what makes me different than other boys. And he's in Worcester wearing. Look at Cena, the Boston guy wearing New York. This has got to be killing him to wear this. Wouldn't you think? Even if it's your job to be the heel, you got to wear your opposing team's jersey. Funny thing is John Cena would come pretty close to that. I mean, is this really rapping or is this just talking and saying words that rhymed? I can do that. Oh, it does? Because you'd be all about Massachusetts. Yeah. Roger I love that it's a Clemens jersey on top of that. That's awesome. Yeah, just see me. I wasn't a fan. I did not think this was like peak John Cena. You could see the charisma, you could see the ability, you could see the performer. It was all there, but the gimmick, the raps, the rhymes, the look, none of that appealed to Greg at all. This guy, on the other hand, very much appealed to Greg. We have got a 26-year-old Brock Lesnar. Maybe not even. I don't know when Brock's birthday is. He's 25 or 26 here, which is insane. Two-time WWE champion already. He has been in the company 13 months, and he's a two-time champion, including one WrestleMania main event and a victory over The Rock and a victory over Hulk Hogan. I remember having the conscious thought of, holy shit, Brock Lesnar is champion and Goldberg's coming in. I remember thinking about the two of them right off the bat. Like, that could be a dream match. It just didn't happen quite the way we wanted it to. The baddest man on the planet, huh? Could 2003 Brock Lesnar beat 2003 Mike Tyson in a fight? Maybe. Chris Ludek, where's my buddy? Could 2003 Brock Lesnar beat 2003 Mike Tyson in a fight? I think 2011 or 9 Brock, when he was actually MMA trained, might have a better chance, maybe. God, he's so strong. Okay, so yes, he could. Okay, so here's another one. Could Shinsuke Nakamura beat Chosen from the Karate Kid Part 2 in a real fight? I think so. Such an early tune-up for Cena, too, you know? Cena would have a couple of matches with Angle, too, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he work Angle? He would work Angle maybe later, because Cena would go heel or go babyface here soon, right? So I think he would have another similar type of match with Kurt Angle. And maybe take him to the limit. That happened later on in the year, right? So this is a good tune-up year for Cena before he really started cooking in 04. Gotcha, Chris. Thanks for the 5. Depends on the rules. Brock didn't have great hands, so one punch by Tyson, it's over. If it goes to the ground, it's all Lesnar. Seems very logical. Sometimes that's all it takes. You know, you just get hit one time. You can't help how your brain's going to react to that. So you just lights go out, you're down. I don't know what my strategy would be. Grab his leg and try to break it off. Cena's birthday is next Sunday. Happy birthday, Cena. I know. I think he's got a year on me, so I'm not as old as him. I'm not as bald either. I think if I grew my hair out all the way out, it might look better than Cena's. It ain't going to look great, but it might look better than Cena's. Oh, appreciate it. 5 more from you, Chris. I've only seen the first Karate Kid, but I gotta watch Cobra Kai because I like Tanner Buchanan. On the other hand, I'm now wrestling weekly with a UFC fighter. That's awesome, Chris. So you've never seen Cobra Kai, but you're aware of Tanner Buchanan? What the hell was he in that you would even know? Tanner Buchanan cracks me up because I just talked about Trish looking like somebody I know. Tanner Buchanan is the spitting image of a hostess that worked for me for a couple of years. She left last year to go off to college, USC. Send so many of them to USC and UCLA every year. Right around this time, they're coming in all excited. I got excited, accepted UCLA or USC, and she was a really pretty girl. But Tanner Buchanan is also a really pretty girl. They look exactly alike, and to me, he kind of looks like a girl because he's so young, and he's got those girl features. But he's a little badass in Cobra Kai, man. He's kicking ass. I'm just curious what else he has been in. It's gonna be ridiculous too as that kid gets older. He's gonna get so much ass. He has a good character in Cobra Kai. He goes through a lot of character development, which is nice. He swaps from heel to babyface a couple times throughout the series, and I think he's going to end as a babyface because he's a good kid. So's Miguel. Brock's busted open bad. Look at Cena. Cena smelling the blood, capitalizing. I mean, you had to know, though, too, watching a pay-per-view like this is a middle-of-the-card championship match featuring the champion that won the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, the previous year, we saw Triple H drop the belt, but that at least was in the main event, and that was to Hulk Hogan. This is on the undercard, and this is John Cena. It's kind of cool how they only had one championship match since the main event would be Rock and Goldberg. And Triple H belt, his belt remains safe. Hogan's not on the show, is he? There's no Missed America shit or none of that going on right now? Oh, okay. He's featured on Men's Health and Fitness, and his workouts were detailed. Loved the kid's character, man. It's going to be sad to see Cobra Kai end because him and Miguel, I've always really all the kids I liked. I like him, Miguel, and Hawk. Not a huge fan of Sam on the girls' side, but I do like Tori because I feel like she's gone through a lot more changes. Sam's she's too privileged. She's probably one of the only ones that hasn't seemed like she went through a whole lot of change and development. I mean, she went through a little, but of all the characters, she probably went through the least. I did not know that Brock got busted open this badly in this match. It would take, take Cena, what, 8 years to get revenge on this match? 9 years? Oof, man. Cena just taking it too. This is pretty interesting to see Cena dominating Lesnar to this degree. Damn, that blood. Fox Star Killer, appreciate the $10, man. How you are about Cena is how I am about The Rock. Where others adore Nation Corporation heel Rock and disdain people's champion babyface Rock, I'm of the opposite. I can see that too. I did like Nation and corporate Rock, but I also like People's Champion Rock. I didn't turn on The Rock the way some did. And I don't think the fans, even though some of them did, Rock did hear some boos at WrestleMania 18 and at SummerSlam against Brock. They didn't turn on him to the level that they turned on Cena. He was still super over and got a lot of cheers. Where Cena, it felt like 80% of the damn building was booing him sometimes. Ooh. But I personally found like Corporation Rock and Nation Rock to be entertaining, which is why I always like that. With Cena's rap and stuff, all it told me was that Cena's a good entertainer and hopefully he finds something better. But I just kept looking at him and seeing Marky Mark. That's all I saw. So, because I mean, they facially look alike too. Maybe it's because I still regret buying the Funky Bunch CD in 1989 and spending $12 on it, and I'm still mad at myself. So I just made me hate John Cena. Maybe it's me punishing myself. Maybe that's it. I don't blame anybody for unfollowing me after learning that information. Like I went to the CD store and I put it on the counter and I paid with cash. I said, here's my $12. I would like to have this Marky Mark and Funky Bunch CD to take home and listen to voluntarily. Why would you subscribe to somebody like that, I wouldn't. Oh. I was a pretty big fan of Rock the whole time. I mean, I did not like the blue chipper, and that shit he was wearing and the Chia Pet hair. None of that stuff did anything for me. But as soon as they let his personality come out, I'm like, oh, I liked him. So with Cena, I think it was just a matter of preference. Like I understood that Cena was an entertainer. It's just, it wasn't my cup of tea is all it was, which is totally fine. I got too many things popping up on my screen here. There we go. Cena is really giving Brock more of a match than I think Cena should be giving him at this time. I don't know what we are here. I don't know when this match started, but I feel like this should be 8 minutes. And I feel like we're going on 12 here. Thanks, Zach. Peace out. Don't blame you. Yeah, Trayvon, that match at Extreme Rules was so brutal. I remember saying on those early infantile days of the commentary of the YouTube channel back then, I said, I think they made Brock put Cena over as a sign of good faith. You know, to say, like, if you're going to come back and we're going to do business with you, you got to show us that you're going to play ball. So they made him lose on his first night. I feel like it's the same thing they made Hogan do when he came back in 2002. Because before he started pulling all of his that doesn't work for me, brother shit, he was jobbing like a motherfucker all throughout 2002. Lost to The Rock, lost to Angle, lost to Brock. Everybody was beating him. And then next thing you know, dude would never lose again. Who was the last guy to defeat Hulk Hogan one-on-one? It might have been Brock or something. Because after that, he was beating Shawn, beating Orton, all that shit. This is Brock's strategy to get out of this? Like, if you had enough strength to run Cena back and forth to the ropes, then you also had enough strength just to get up on your feet and fall backwards and break the hold that way. He took the long way to get somewhere that's located right across the street. Undertaker too. Yeah, exactly, Rodrigo. Lost the title to Taker, right? The only good thing he got was that Backlash match against Triple H, and then he dropped the belt the very next month. So I added another name to the list. Got to look at Hogan's title histories, but ooh, nope. I'm trying to think of who else has beat Hogan twice for the title. Flair might have. This is not good. There we go. Luckily, there's so much raw power in Brock that whenever there's like a misstep or they kind of fumbled a spot, Brock can just cover for it because he's strong as a fucking moose. Oh, oh, yeah. There have been two famous Brock matches that I regret not going to because I had a chance to go to both. The first one was that Iron Man match with Angle on SmackDown, which was in Raleigh. The other one was that Hogan match. Pretty sure that Hogan match with Brock, where Brock wiped the blood. I'm almost certain that was in Richmond. And that is another building that I would go to shows to all the time. Pretty much anytime WWE ran Richmond, I'd go. And for some reason, I did not go to that show. And I really regret that. Because that would have been the last time I would see Hogan wrestle live, and that would have been a great lasting memory for me. Oh man, he went under the buckle. That's another. Oh, Cena's got the. Cena has his promise ring. He's got it. Stephanie, wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. But she was the one that informed me what this chain reportedly or apparently means. What was he doing? And hit the referee? That was dumb. And there's the F5. Just like this? That's the F5. That's going to do it for Johnny boy. Unless he's going to hit him with a second one. Don't go for the shooting star. I like how Brock walked around before he pinned him. So the only thing I didn't like about that is Cena had the chain wrapped around his head and he went to act like he was going to punch Brock, but Brock was like 10 feet away. He was like just punching into the air. I even looked like he was going to punch the referee, and then the referee stopped him. Brock countered, picked him up for the F5 and won the match. That everybody was all out of position in that. Like Cena should have been way closer to Brock. Like he was in no day. Like even if Brian Hebner wouldn't have jumped in front of Cena's swing, he would have not been anywhere near Brock Lesnar to make any contact with any part of Lesnar's body. Look at me critiquing these rookies. Cena, you inexperienced chode. Brock, greener than goose shit. Oh, I love it. That wasn't the best low blow either. Good thing about Brock is even when he first started, he was never green. He was already past green the minute he walked in the door. Brock never saw green. Brock never knew what green was. I don't think Angle did either. I don't think there was ever a time in Angle or Brock's career where they would have been considered green to the naked eye. I think even on day 2, you put them in the ring, most people would look at them and say, oh, they know what they're doing. Nash, what are you going to do with that mane, man? Why are you going to be chopping that off to look like Ric Flair? Booker, Shawn, Nash, what a weird team. If anything, this should be Flair, Jericho, and Booker against the Clique. Oh, yeah. And then he lost. You're right. I forgot Hogan also lost the following year at No Way Out 2003. Good point, Fox Star Killer. I'd forgotten about that too. So basically, that was a February pay-per-view, right? No Way Out. When did Hogan come back? February 2002. So it was literally, he had to do 1 year of jobs, and he had to do 1 year of do whatever you say. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was written in his contract that way. The first year, you shut the fuck up. And then every other year, you can have your "it doesn't work for me, brother" stuff. It's possible. The math adds up. By the way, which overlay while we're watching this? I couldn't figure out this overlay drove me nuts today. You like this one or that one? So this is B. So this is A, B, A, B. I think I have it on A. But there are no good, clear versions of this pay-per-view box art anywhere of this Goldberg and Rock. No matter what I found online, I could not find a good, clear picture to use. So I was almost going to tweet you guys saying, hey, if anybody has the DVD of Backlash, can you take a picture of it and DM it to me? But then I was worried if I asked you guys to go through the trouble of doing that and then you didn't take the picture I wanted to, and then I didn't use it, I would have felt bad for wasting your time. So I was like, nope, I'll just do my best to make one here. But you cannot find a good, clear render or photo of Rock and Goldberg at all. So we did what we could. But I don't have I've got a couple of Backlashes on my shelf, but not this show. I don't have it on VHS either. All right, and they're just recapping all that nonsense. Very angry Kevin Nash. It's kind of funny, too, because there was some heat back in the WCW days with Nash and Jericho. And some of that heat crossed over into Jericho's run in WWE. I remember that being the chatter, like maybe the Observer, or whatever the hell I was reading at the time, saying that Jericho coming to the WWE, he's already going to be in an uphill battle because Nash shit-talked him to Triple H. But to Jericho's credit, despite some of those political obstacles he could be facing with guys like the Click and others that he didn't click with, he was able to become a star anyway. And that's good. I don't think Kevin Nash needs to go to AEW. Kevin Nash can go to AEW if he wants to, and they want to bring him in and make him a mouthpiece or a manager or a second to somebody and give a young guy some rub. I honestly just don't think that's something that Nash needs to be doing or might even not want to do. Nash is one of my favorite people in the wrestling business, but I feel really bad for what he's went through over the last year, losing Scott Hall, losing his son. I saw him at WrestleCon, and I did not approach him for a picture. He was right there next to X-Pac, but he legitimately looked miserable to be there. I said hello to him. He was polite, but he wasn't. He just looked like he was asleep. And that's not even his fault, man. The dude's been through everything, but I was like, he just not. I don't want to go over there and take a picture with Kevin Nash and just for him to be like, he's just not into it. I was watching people going over there. He had no facial expression, wasn't smiling. Nobody says you have to be, jumping for joy or anything, but he looked truly miserable to be there. But I can't even blame wrestlers for that. Doing that travel, going through all that with all that shit on your mind, having to meet a bunch of crazy fans, waking up early in the morning. I wouldn't be good at it either. So I didn't blame him or anything. I was just like, well, I'm just not going to go talk to him because I don't think I'll get anything out of him. Where other people were more than willing to talk to you and say hello. Me and Elizabeth talked for a few minutes with John Nord, the Berserker, who was just so fucking nice. Where are you from? And what do you do? And what are you doing here? And how long you been watching? And hope you have a great weekend. Never once asked us for a dime or anything like that. Just hung out and talked to us. So nice. And then you have the opposite ends of that of somebody like Nash who just looked like he was miserable. Miserable. But if I lost my best friend and my son within a year's time, I'm not going to be Mr. Chipper Pants either. So it's all good, Nash. No hard feelings. Say what you want about Triple H's run and that ridiculous win he got over Booker T at WrestleMania. I really liked the way the big gold looked on Triple H. He just looked and carried it like a champion, and that's what I appreciated as a wrestling fan. We just went through the Attitude Era of Austin and The Rock just dragging this belt down the ramp, throwing it in the ring, and doing all sorts of crazy shit. It was good to see a champion wear the title. And Triple H always wore the title, and I appreciated guys who wore the belt. Could you imagine Austin doing the BMF walk with the title around his waist? It wouldn't have looked right. His gimmick was to carry it, but it's a belt. It's meant to be worn, and I always thought about, what am I listening to? Okay. I have a question. If I'm trying not to get pants shitting mad about this. If WWE is going to go through the trouble to dub Booker T's theme music, that is probably one of those CDs that they did where they had other versions and it's copyrighted, right? Why not just put the original Harlem Heat Booker T theme over top of this? Why would you even... Hope this is not dubbed. I hope it's really sexy, boy. I'd hate for them to put some different lyrics. Wow, Sean wearing his Survivor Series 96 gear. Looks like that's kind of what it looks like. What's he dancing like that? Oh, there goes his pyro. I mean, it was great to see Sean back in the ring, even wearing his shit. Wearing his old gear and stuff. Like, we were only a few months into this. This was still, to me as a fan, really, really new to see Sean back, and it made me happy. I'm just a sexy Greg. Sexy Greg. I'll break your fucking leg. Fuck it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was just singing. And now they kind of had like a spiced up or a little bit similar to Diesel, but a 2003 version of it. Kevin Nash. It still says Big Daddy on his tights. They should have just been Diesel. Big Daddy Cool. Surprised Vince didn't want to just call him Big Daddy Cool. I remember when I was in high school, my parents had just bought our first home computer. We had never had internet in the house or anything. This would have been like 1994. And I don't even think we were getting on the internet much on that back in those days. But there was like there was a bunch of games on the computer, like Tetris and all this shit. And I would play in, my sisters would play them, and there would be high scores on all these different games you could play. And I would have the high score on all of them. And I would always put as the name Big Daddy Cool, because I always thought it was a fun, like Diesel was just getting over in WWE, starting to become a big deal. He was about to win the championship. And I always got a kick out of the name Big Daddy Cool. I just thought it sounded funny. I just laughed. I'm like, what a hilarious name, Big Daddy Cool. And so it was so funny that I just decided to make that the highest score name to every game on that 1994 computer. Discount Diesel theme. It did kind of sound like a Discount D. I loved the Full Metal version. That's one of my favorite theme songs ever. It's underrated. I like Diesel's theme with the harmonica or whatever that shit is. Sounds like Roseanne, the TV show Roseanne. It says Roseanne theme. I always liked it. This is crazy. We've got Nick Patrick refereeing a WWE match consisting of Ric Flair and Kevin Nash. All right, and he's going to tag Shawn. Oh, it's just so cool to see Shawn and Diesel together. Shawn and Jericho. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've made several tweets tagging Triple H and WWE in this stupid theme music dubbing crap, but they really need to get a handle on it, because it's not so much the dubbing that bothers me, it's the inconsistency. That's what drives me crazy. Like in my restaurant, because of course restaurants and wrestling are the exact same business, naturally, right? But consistency is so important. My pork chop can't look different tomorrow than it did today, you know? And that's what pisses me off about this. I mean, it's all on the same network. These are the same songs, but you're dubbing them sometimes, not dubbing them the other. It's inconsistent and it's lazy. And if I charge $48 for a pork chop, it better look pretty damn good the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you get it. It can't be half the size of the day before and have a turd garnish on it one day. No, it has to be the same and delicious every goddamn day. And this shit is not delicious every day. Sometimes you get theme music dubbing, sometimes you don't. And it's inconsistent, it's lazy, it's whack. And with all the thousands, they brag about how many employees they have. We have thousands of employees. Good. Get one of them on theme music dubbing duty on Peacock and fix this. Give them a few of those Cliff bars and some energy drinks and throw them down in the basement in the studio and say, fix this. We'll pay you overtime, whatever. Just fix it. None of these things should be hard. I think if a company can make a lightning bolt shoot out of the Undertaker's hand and set a coffin on fire, they can figure out how to organize the theme music problems on their streaming platforms. Who edited this? I don't know, but if you have his name and address, please hook me up with it. Oh, Jericho eats. How did Nash? Jericho was involved in Nash's hair deal, right? A couple of months later, they did a hair match. Was that with Jericho or was that with Triple H? Oh, I wonder how the hair match idea came about. I wonder if Nash volunteered that information. Hey, I'm about to get cast in a movie and they're going to need my haircut. So want to take advantage of that? Or if he let it slip, or if he had to ask Vince, like, hey, they want me to cut my hair. And then Vince is like, well, we're going to put you in a hair match then. Vince will be like, we're going to put you in a hair match, Kevin. I want some pointers because I'm thinking about doing one of these. There's an orange corrupt dumbass that I'm friends with. We might want to do that one day at a future WrestleMania, maybe. Oh, I don't know, say 4 years from now. Just an idea. What were they referring to just then? Did Booker T get a rematch against Triple H on Raw? Oh, you think Vince did this? So what does that mean? He snuck into the production room and he personally fucked with all these themes? I wouldn't put it past him. I like the purple tights on Triple H. Looks good. Sets off his tan. In the summertime, well, I get a lot of sun here. Just at my job, I'm outside a lot. Even on the East Coast in the summertime, I'd be outside all the time. So I always get really good color. And I always wear like powder blue and purple and yellow and shit like that because it looks really good when you have a tan. Triple H knows what's up. I know these tricks. I do the same thing. A little pale right now because it's March, but I'll be getting some sun soon. Probably touch some grass while I'm at it. Speaking of touching some grass, the police department has an unlisted number. Is that what he said? Purple is your favorite color. My favorite color is green. I don't know why. I don't ever wear green, but I like the color green. Me and my sister actually have the same favorite color, which is weird. I don't know why. Out of there. It's kind of crazy. Like I remember as a fan thinking like, and plus we saw Nash get injured the previous year, but wondering how much Nash could physically do. But he still looks just in amazing shape here. He'd come back and work that match with Triple H like 10 years later, right? In 2012 or whenever that was. The Juliet blue is your favorite color. I might have some sort of weird prejudice against blue. I might be racist against blue or something because I remember when I was a kid, all of my guy friends, every guy friend I had, their favorite color was blue. And I remember not wanting to be like them. I do like blue. It's blue is themed a lot on my podcast overlays and stuff. I do blue looks good, but it was never my favorite color. I was almost kind of anti-blue because I was like, why is every person I know's favorite color blue? Probably because blue is a really cool color, which is why a lot of people like it. So maybe I was just trying to go against the grain, but I do like green. I do like a good green. Ugh. So I'm trying to think like when the Triple H and Shawn stuff picked back up, because it started in 02 when Shawn came back, then the Elimination Chamber, and then Shawn would drop the belt back to Triple H. And then he'd start his stuff with Jericho. So it sounded like him and Triple H picked things back up somewhere in between then, which ushered in Kevin Nash. And then Shawn and Triple H would have a lot of wars. I forgot who it was. Was it Reese? I forgot who. I don't think it was Barry. Somebody had donated to have a video done, and they asked for a review of the Triple H and Shawn Michaels rivalry that spanned all of their matches throughout their careers. And there were some good ones, man. I guess I never really appreciated or gave the rivalry credit for what it was, but it was one of the better ones they did of the 2000s. Those matches were so good too. All right. I'm going in for another 805 while Triple H and while Jericho and Shawn test their strength against one another. Here's another shoot fight Shawn would lose. Triple H or Jericho would eat his lunch. Shawn might be able to beat up Ric Flair though. That is possible. I think Shawn might actually be able to take Ric Flair in a fight. But that's the only one in this match Shawn could beat. Oh, well, see, you got good reasons, Juliet. I love that. And I don't know why my favorite color isn't blue either, because I love the blue sky. And I get a lot of it here in San Diego, and I'm very, very appreciative of it. I take pictures of the sky any chance I get. If I'm in my car, sometimes I just take a picture of the sky when I'm filling up with my car with gas, because there's just some beautiful scenery. I'm like, this is fucking crazy that I live here. Same thing when I'm at work, just blue sky over the ocean. It's just gorgeous. Blue is great. The ocean's blue, the sky's blue. Blue gives you a good feeling of happiness and a refreshing feeling. And you're a September sapphire birthstone. I think, do men have birthstones, or is that just a girl's thing? I know men have kidney stones. I'm on hot tag to, I can't tell who Shawn's going to hit first. I kind of hope Booker. I think Booker would be better in a hot tag scenario than Nash would be. Nick Patrick was getting a little bit better at his 3 counts. Remember how I've complained about him in WCW before? They make him do a little bit better in WWE, but he still has a weird count, a weird style to his form. We did get Triple H tagged in, but also Nash. Crazy Nash and Triple H, though, working together. I mean, they hadn't wrestled in the ring. I mean, Nash against Hunter Hearst Helmsley probably did happen a couple of times on TV on Superstars or something, but other than their backstage friendship, they did not have their storyline paths crossed very rarely in WWE in 95 and 96 before Nash left. So this is, I mean, essentially a completely fresh opponent for Nash, who also, and Triple H, who also happens to have a ton of history with him. So it was kind of interesting. Oh, hi, Nate. Remember when I dressed up like Arn? Flair's like, yeah, I remember. Trying to think where we at here with these guys, with everybody in this match. How many of them are Hall of Famers? Nash, Booker, Shawn, Flair. 4 of them. 4 out of the 6. Triple H is not in yet. Uh-oh. And neither is Jericho. Drop kick. Wow. Nice save by Jericho there, saving his old foe. Ooh. Scissor kick. Kind of a shitty kick to Flair, but at least he went down. Up, spin-a-rooney. If we can get to 1,000 channel members, I will open up every podcast with a spin-a-rooney. So tell 900 people to sign up. Just crazy. Up, Flair's going to the top. We know how this is going to end. Yep, there he's caught. Oh. Tuning up the band. It is funny how Shawn used to use the super kick all the time in matches, but he never beat anybody with it until he called it the super kick. So you got to attach a name to it before it counts. It hurts worse that way. I don't know who the legal man is. I have no clue. Jerry Lawler. Oh. Oh, baby. Yes, you guys can gift memberships. We had Nicole in here just yesterday, gifted out 5 of them. I think we had 2 other gifts sent out as well. So you guys have been very cool about that. Very nice of y'all to do that. I am working on member stuff right now, actually. There's just so much shit, man. When you're you're a YouTuber, like there's always stuff you need to update or fix or whatever. And I've just been trying my best while working full time at the same time. So I apologize for the delays, but I got stuff set for members. I've got to just updating the tier systems a bit and getting some content ready, getting some new icons and tier and emojis and accomplishments and all that stuff. Oh, so I'm working on it. Thanks for your patience. Sledge. I think post Sledgehammer, post Genesis, Peter Gabriel was just as good, man. Who's this? Oh, that's the same route. Oh no, that's Nick Patrick. I thought there was a second referee in there. Damn it. You dirty heels. I kind of thought, because I didn't look at the results of the show, usually, after WrestleMania, the person that lost gets a little revenge here. And I kind of thought that babyfaces would pick this win up, but Triple H wins again with that trusty sledgehammer. I'll just put it back under the ring. Nobody will know I used it. Give me my belt that was never on the line. So what, Nash would put Triple H over at 3 straight pay-per-views? Well, actually, I don't know what the finish is in Judgment Day, but I think that leads to bad blood. So maybe Nash gets a DQ win. Is that what happens at Judgment Day? So maybe technically he doesn't put Triple H over 3 times, but it feels like he did. I just remember some finish up on the announce table because the Raw table is back. I remember getting a pretty good view of that from my seat. Well, the sledgehammer shot and the coconut shot on Piper earlier, neither one were great. I love that idea, the Juliet. I mean, that kind of used to be what the Slammies were for, but they don't do the Slammies anymore. But if you start putting individual matches into the Hall of Fame, I would support that because that could be fun. Having the 2 guys in the match, and then maybe just one guy if one guy's dead, and nobody if both guys are dead. But I think that could be a fun addition to the Hall of Fame. I'd be into it. Now that they're under the same umbrella, that could be a change we see to the Hall of Fame and starting at WrestleMania 40. I would be very much in favor of that. I would think the first match you would put in is Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Andre was the first ever inductee into the Hall of Fame. It would make sense that he is also the first match to go in. And since Hogan is still with us, oh God, don't show this again. Just got a nice replay of what happened to Rey Mysterio earlier tonight. Oh God. That's hard to watch. Jesus. If I'm Taz, I'm like, Michael Cole, don't talk to me like we're on a date. Whenever 2 people come into the restaurant and it's just 2 of them and they sit at a table, it's rare, but sometimes they will sit next to each other. Like if it's a table for 4, they'll sit in the 2 seats next to each other instead of across from each other. We call that riding the bus. So you'll be like, hey, we got 2 people riding the bus at table 307. I'm like, it's so weird. Like if you're going out to eat with your wife or something, like sitting next to her, like, no, sit across from her. People are weird, man. And sometimes it's like they're so lovey-dovey and it's just like, ugh, get a room, bitches. God. All right, here it is, main event time. So if you ever go on a date, don't ride the bus. I don't recommend that. She'll probably think you're weird. And don't be weird. All right. I remember the night Bill showed up, but I don't remember any of the other build with these guys. You think about the disappointment of like, we never got Undertaker and Sting. When you think about how close Austin and Goldberg came, but they just missed each other literally by 1 night. Austin was an active competitor 1 night. The very next night when Goldberg debuted, he was retired. Imagine if Goldberg came in and during the Alliance and the Invasion. We could have gotten that match, but we never got Austin and Goldberg. Instead, they kind of insisted on kind of being kayfabe friends on TV, and we got that one stunner at WrestleMania 20, but like we never got it. Meanwhile, Rock works with both of them on back-to-back pay-per-views. That's crazy. That's even crazier than The Undertaker and Sting. match because Sting was never in WWE for that match to happen. But they were there, and they were there together. I mean, I know Austin was retired, but you couldn't be like, do one more year, and then you and Goldberg in main event WrestleMania 20. Goldberg's going to leave, then you get to beat him. And finally the question is answered, who would win the dream match? Whole different universe. Remember that what if concept I've talked about before? Like, we could fantasy book all sorts of crazy shit. Oh man, are they going to do the real Which Goldberg song did they use for this? God, look how young Bill is. I wasn't a fan of the little bit of hair Rock had. It's just better with it all gone. When I first started shaving my head and stuff, I would have a little bit of hair grown. And I quickly started not liking that. I'm like, I don't like the way that looks. It needs to be there or not. So then I start bicking it. Oh, so they got a few shots in. We're getting chair shots. Goldberg taking somersault chair shot cells. Good for you, Goldie. Again, though, much like Brock and Goldberg the next year, this is kind of a cool dream match to see, but it was so painfully obvious what the finish was going to be. This is Goldberg's first match. Rock is leaving to make movies. Who the fuck do you think's going to win this thing? Goldberg is just getting there. This is Goldberg match number 1. Lemon panties. Giggle panties. We didn't get enough of this Hollywood Rock. We didn't get nearly enough of this. For no reason. I don't remember the story now, but the two of them met at some thing a year or two prior to this. And I think had a good meeting. There's a picture of them. It was in magazines and shit and all that. So that early, meeting and that early, making, oh, Jesus. That initial introduction probably help get this match made. You can see those 1998 scars. You can still see them. Rock, all his promos were just so much of that, though. Sometimes it was too much. Everything was like, just trying to be overly funny. Like, you're kind of funny just on your own. You don't need to try that hard. What movie would Rock have been on by this point? We would have been 2003, so he wasn't that far in. He was probably somewhere in the Rundown era or something. This is a great theme too. I like the slower version and the shot of LA. Oh yeah, that city. I was just there. It's just a delight to drive around that. And here comes The Rock. Walking Tall. I get Rundown and Walking Tall confused. I thought that was the same movie. Never seen any of them. I've never seen any of Rock's movies, but Walking Tall is the movie I was thinking of. I think I said Rundown, but I meant Walking Tall. The one with Johnny Knoxville in it. Or maybe that was Rundown. I don't remember. I think it's Walking Tall, though. Rock's next. And two, a lot of Goldberg, when he came in, I was wondering like how he was just going to work WWE style. Like their matches are so much different than WCW matches when Goldberg was there. Everything is different. You got a different sized ring. You have a completely different style of television production, and a lot of things have changed. And the stars you're going to be working with now are even better than they were when, you know, you were running things 5 years ago in WCW. I didn't know if he was up for it, to be honest, because I never thought he was that great of a worker in WCW. And I thought it was pretty easy to expose him at times. And he's coming in with, you know, like booking him like the Ultimate Warrior. It's not the 1980s anymore where you can really have matches that quick in pay-per-view main events anyway. So he was going to be forced to work longer and spend more time in the ring. We're going to have a 20-minute match here. And that's 10 times longer than a typical Goldberg match would have been in 1998. So I remember having this discussion with my know-it-all ass and my know-it-all friends and all of us know-it-alls acting like we know shit, dissecting all this. But I definitely remember wondering, he's already banging his head on doors, wondering how he was going to do in a locker room filled with wrestlers a lot better than him. Is he lost? No, wrong way. You're going to go to the basement. Oh, no, he's going the right way. I feel like the announcers are trying to put it over to you. Make no mistake about it. They're on the edge of their seat. So he was in typical Goldberg kind of gear here. He would change the trunks soon. Well, help me out with this theme here. Is number one, is this dubbed? And number two, is this WCW version that we're listening to now, or is WWE version? I feel like it's this WCW version. I kind of struggle to tell them apart. They might have used his WCW version, but they're dubbing his WWE version. Maybe that's what's happening here. Oh, okay. So Fox Star Killer is implying that this is the real Goldberg theme song. This is the one from WCW. Okay, good. Good to know. Question answered. Goldberg's already busted open, and I think that scar would remain on his head for his entire WWE run. That thing would always be there. It would always be bleeding. I always laugh when someone like Goldberg will criticize today's wrestlers for shit they do. I'm like, bitch, who was the guy banging his own head on the door, concussing himself, fucking up wrestling matches? I'm like, maybe you should shut up and not judge. Okay, so this is his WCW version, but it's dubbed. So they dubbed over his WWE version? I'm lost. Why would they dub over his WWE version with his WCW version? Who's on first? Rock is stalling. So that's how you're going to pull and squeeze 18 minutes here, is walk around. Crazy to see Goldberg young. I know, Victor. That's what I'm saying. Somebody needs to be in charge of music on Peacock. Hmm. We're finally going to come to blows like Earl. I can see Earl and Rock backstage before this match. Earl's like, does this guy even know what he's fucking doing? Rock's like, let's hope so, Earl. Let's hope so. He'll be eating some strudel if he doesn't, that's for sure. Bell finally rang. Didn't have the big match vibe that I feel like this match could have had it not been maybe rushed so quick or whatever. But it felt like you had to do it here since Rock was going to be leaving. So this is going to have to be when the match is. But you think about the moment that Rock and Hogan created at WrestleMania, him and Goldberg could have never done anything that big, but they still, it should have been a bigger deal. Like, it's crazy that Goldberg, his two dream matches kind of both shit the bed. Actually, three of them did, because not only was this one not great, his match with Brock at WrestleMania 20, we know, like, that was our thumbnail. That was our thumbnail. Somebody got that camera shot from the other side. That was definitely it. But then when we got Undertaker and Goldberg and Undertaker, he screwed that up too. Shittiest match in the whole world. He screwed it up, bashed his face on the door, and made a match that was never going to be great to begin with, even worse. And it was horrible. I mean, help me out here. Does this seem like the Goldberg that we remember from WCW? Wouldn't the Goldberg in WCW be going out there after The Rock immediately after throwing him out? Being relentless? I mean, when does Goldberg hesitate and have sympathy and shit like that, you know? He's a killer. He just goes out there and mauls you. And if he locks up with The Rock and throws him out of the ring, I follow him out there and start beating the shit out of him. So Goldberg, right off the bat here, isn't being very Goldbergy at all. Got to be more Goldbergy than that. Where's your intensity? Where's your snorting and your spitting and your going berserk? He's up to 8. Why don't you get out there? Go get him, Goldberg. I haven't seen this match since, but I had no idea there was so much stalling going on. And already that makes me kind of critical of Goldberg. And then he gets outsmarted. The funny thing is, this is, yeah, I mean, Rock has all of the experience here, you know. He's got more experience than Goldberg. He's been in bigger matches than Goldberg. He didn't take 2 years off. Ugh. Damn, Goldberg. Oh, he's setting up already. Rock's taking his time getting up, but Goldberg's about to spear him and spear him hard. Come on, I think he's going to leapfrog. Nope. Oh, yeah, there you go. That was a good spot. There's your intensity, Goldberg. But instead of taking it out on the Rock earlier, you took it out on the ring post. Oh, nice. Steve Macklin is the Impact Heavyweight Champion. Good for him. I did see that Nick Aldis is back as well, right? Oh yeah, We Are Pro Wrestling. You're right. They didn't. The booking didn't help Goldberg either. But you got to think too, like the way WWE was at the time. You know, it was a territorial locker room. It was bad enough after the invasion or the WCW buyout. You know, guys came in and WWE guys weren't about to let their spots be taken and all of that. So I always felt like there was an uphill battle for a lot of WCW talent. Maybe not all of them who didn't have anything to do with the war, but you know, some of those guys that worked so hard against them or maybe publicly tried to make them look bad like Goldberg did by going on the Tonight Show and calling out Steve Austin and all that kind of shit. So I can kind of see, like, you know, maybe getting some revenge on these guys. You know, people say that Dusty, they put him in polka dots because he was head of creative in the NWA for so long. And he worked so much against them. Like WCW or WWE did have a history of doing that, and they might have done a little bit of that here with Goldberg. And then if the guy's a prick on top of that, because we know he's just a douche, so then he's backstage just being that way, getting in fights with Chris Jericho, just basically a total turnoff to 90% of the locker room. I'd probably book him like shit too. Triple H and Goldberg too had a history. They had a run in, unlike Rock and Goldberg, who I think got along when they met. Triple H and Goldberg met. Oh, dick shot. It might have been 1999 or some year, and I think there was some words exchanged between them, and it wasn't a pleasant meeting. So now Triple H is married to the boss's daughter, and he's going to be working with a program with Bill, and you know, maybe he used some of his Triple H power to be able to make Goldberg look like an idiot in the Elimination Chamber. He may have done that. Was he wrong for doing it? I don't know. Probably. But it's Goldberg, so what do I care? Wearing the Sid elbow pad? Sid always had that yellow patch on his. Yes, Josh, thank you for pointing that out. That was one of the worst looking sharpshooters I've ever seen. I was just flapping my gums and not giving it the shit that it deserved. So thank you for pointing that out. I'm kind of a stickler for people and sharpshooters. I always think everybody in the world does it terribly except for Bret Hart and Claudio Castagnoli. Sting's Scorpion Deathlock sucked. Rock's sharpshooter sucked. Damn. When did Goldberg start wearing the trunks? Well, the ones he has on now, he wore in WCW. And then I guess it would probably be just right after this, probably the pay-per-view after this, probably on TV at some point in the next couple of weeks. You're going to see Goldberg change up his gear a bit. But they might not want him in all that black, you know, because if you notice on that new gear, he would have the logo on the back and all that. So they probably just wanted him a more marketable. So I saw, did you see that tweet today from Will Washington? He buys an NWO shirt from WWE Shop, and in the picture, it just shows the red NWO logo. He gets it in the mail, and underneath the logo on the front of the shirt, there's a little WWE logo underneath it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They didn't even include it on the example photo of the shirt because they're sketchy as hell. But they just got to, they always have to overdo something. So they just put their WWE twist on Goldberg and probably didn't work out that great. Rocky, bottom, hit it, hit him with it. Of course he's going to kick out. You got to do the people's elbow, or at least attempt it. Goldberg was super late on that. Yeah, I felt like Goldberg should have kicked out about a half second earlier there. Yes, Natalya does not have a horrible one. I guess I didn't really think about the women, and Natalya should have that down to a science by now, you would think. Some sharpshooters are really almost offensively bad. I just feel like people who don't put it on right, like truly aren't coordinated or something, because it's really easy. It's really easy to make it look right. It's like two sequins. Just put your leg over and cross them and turn it over. And I used to put it on my sisters all the time as kids. I had perfect form. It doesn't even seem like it would be hard to fuck up, but so many people fuck it up. Here it comes. I would love to catch that. Ooh. I don't think Rock ever threw an elbow pad in my general direction. And a kick out. And I've seen a lot of people's elbows in person. That should have been 3. Rock should have won. Goldberg's still fighting. Yeah, the Terry interview was good. I think Rock and Lillian have a chemistry, but Terry, what did he call her, lemon panties? Oh my god. There it is. Big spear. God, Rock ate that. Setting him up for a second one. You know he's going to jackhammer him too. Rock's like, shit, I'm so glad I'm about to have a stunt double for this stuff. Regina Reese, you are outside of your mind. What an evil granny does look evil as shit. I don't recall when the Jericho and Goldberg incident takes place. I don't know if that's still a month away or what, but Rock, are you gonna? Do you not think the match is over or something? Like you're just checking yourself? That made The Rock look incredibly dumb. 2 good spears there. At least they didn't look bad. They both looked really good. And the jackhammer. Plenty of strength. Oh, wow. One-handed. Hey, pretty good looking jackhammer, too. He completed the trifecta, and they all look good. Good for you, Goldberg. Well, they took their time getting through it. But Goldberg, I suppose, could have looked worse. And now it's on to several months of horrific booking. and nightmare scenarios for Goldberg and a lot of frustration and animosity. And then a year from now, he'd be gone, not to return for another 12 years. Yeah, that's another thing about Goldberg's debut and run that also fell flat to me as a fan, is because there were a lot of fans that did think like me and had the same type of opinions. And one of those opinions was I never liked Goldberg even in WCW. I thought he had some exciting matches, great moments, the Hogan match. I appreciated that he was an organically over talent that they created on their own. And I understood all of that about him. But in terms of a performer, he wasn't really that much of my cup of tea because he wasn't a very good worker. And when you had so many other guys that I've been following and watching throughout the years, you want to see succeed, the Benoits, the Eddies, the Jerichos. I did not need or want Goldberg in my wrestling life. To me, I didn't really need him there. So in a match with Goldberg and Rock, I was always such a pro WWE guy in the WWE and WCW war. Of course, I'm going to be cheering for The Rock. And a lot of fans were like that. So Goldberg didn't even come in with, he was coming in as kind of to fill the void that Austin was going to leave and Rock was going to leave, but not fill it very well because he was only about half as over as those guys were. So it was just tough for him. On top of that, he didn't have any, allies behind the scenes. They didn't really like each other right from the word go. He had heat with half the roster there, and it just wasn't a good time for him to be there. Just things didn't work out. So I think time needed to pass before business could properly be done with all those parties. So I'm glad at least that Goldberg came back in 2016. The problem is he just stuck around too long. But this was a crazy show to watch again. Haven't seen it in 20 years. That's crazy. It's been that long, and that's how old it is. A show that is still kind of considered a modern show. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for being here tonight. It looks like, let me get this off here. Just shut down the timer. So I think I'll be here Wednesday for a Dynamite watch along. We haven't done those in so long because I've been working a lot on Wednesdays this year, on and off. But I don't think I've got anything going on Wednesday. So the plan for now is to not do a Raw review tomorrow night unless they do some crazy angle. I think tomorrow's going to be a pretty typical show, just more build to Backlash. I don't think we're going to see anything that crazy, although we might get something with Brock and Cody that could be pretty decent. But unless something crazy happens, probably no review tomorrow unless I'm feeling really saucy. But it was a long week. I might want to get some rest. But we will be here Wednesday night for sure to watch Dynamite together because we have not done that in a while. So make sure you stop by on Wednesday for that and keep a tomorrow just in case I do decide to come up after Raw. In the meantime, follow me over on the Twitters at Good Mic Work because I will be live tweeting tomorrow during the show. So that will be the plan. Thank you guys so much for being here. Fun as always. I'm going to think about what to do next week. I definitely want to do a WCW show, and I'll put up a poll. If you're a member, you'll be able to vote on this, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next Sunday night. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to take a trip down south to WCW. So you guys have a good rest of your Sunday night and what's left of the weekend.